Welcome back, everybody, to part two of this amazing discussion with Marco Missinato, currently coming at us from the US, born in Italy, and an amazing composer. Sorry, my language is, my tongue's tripping over my teeth here, and a composer from the heart and from the soul. It's a very unique expression of music that I've experienced. I'm loving listening to your music, Marco, and I'm really looking forward to exploring even further because you have a lot of music to explore. It's not just one album, it's quite a lot of music there. So, can you share with us the journey through music that you've had over the decades? When you first started, I mean, you were doing covers and getting paid for doing covers to earn a little bit of income because you had this project niggling at you, in the background to release your first album. So can you just share a bit about that journey?
Yes, of course. Well, when the first part of the journey was in complete solitude. It seems like Source wanted me to go through all the layers and all the aspects of what it means to be humans, so that I can fully comprehend the physical experience. Because only by doing that, I could be most efficient in my offering, in my help, and so I had to become a match myself within myself to the vision for the vision to crystallize. There was no way around it, and so I have to go through all those layers of the experience that we all experience, which is the challenges of scarcity, of separation, of difficulties, of challenges, of programming, of indoctrination. And so the journey started exactly like that. My music was moments for me to go back home and take a break from the physical experience for a moment. So let me go back home for a moment so I can breathe, and then I go back to the 3D. But as I was progressing into the journey, the visualization was always stronger and stronger. It was always pushing me towards daring more, daring into the unknown, daring into now do this, now do these other things. And everybody say, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? You're going to do this? You cannot do this. You're supposed to do this." So I have to always constantly deal with that. And it came to a point where it was in the early 90s, where I felt guided to come to Los Angeles, to America. And so I did, and I just came here. At that time, I didn't even speak English. I didn't know anybody. I had very little money. I just had a little keyboard, and I came, and I didn't know why I was here, what was the reason, but I just felt the enthusiasm and the joy of doing so, and that was enough for me. There was enough reason for me to do what I was going to do, and so I did. And I came here, and it was a very challenging time. It was truly, talking about solitude, it was a good 15, 20 years of working within, because the without wasn't really offering so much. It was all about fear and separation. So I have to, in order to feel the joy and to feel the enthusiasm, I have to go inside myself all the time.
Exactly. We need to be that authentic expression, don't we?
Yes, exactly. So, and as a way to make some money, I started to sing, actually, surprisingly. I used to use, and I still do use the voice also as a way to create melodies. But I never consider myself a singer.
Yes.
However, rather than doing other things, I decided, let me try with music to make a living. And the first few years were very tough. I mean, imagine being Los Angeles, huge city, thousands and thousands of brilliant musicians. So very hard,
Yes.
to make it. But somehow, again, there was a force within myself that was giving me I would say, the hope, maybe, or the drive. And the first few years were extremely challenges, but then the challenge started to change. There was still challenge, but the quality of the challenge changed as my level of performance grew, and I started to perform, singing and playing and singing covers in places like celebrities' houses, the rich and famous houses, well, those kind of red carpet kind of events. And so financially, the situation got a little bit better. And of course, every time I would have a little bit of money, what would I do? I would produce music, and then I would be broken again and
Yes.
go back to work and produce music. That's how I created all those albums, including Unfolding Secrets.
Wow.
But the experience has been extremely valuable, not just in terms of music production, but in terms of soul production, soulfulness, because I learned to copy with the idea of being physical, which was very challenging for me, and I think for everybody else. It's probably the most difficult thing for a soul to be on earth. I think this is probably the toughest choice that a soul has, to come on earth. It doesn't get much darker than this, That's why I believe we are all masters of lights here in this planet, I think. Although most of us are momentarily have forgotten that they are dormant, but to be able to be in such a low frequencies and still have managed to have moments of joy, moments of, even if it's just one moment once in a while, that already to me signifies that we are very special beings. We are not what they want us to believe we are. I think we are all beautiful God and Goddess here,
Yeah.
And we are the time where we are starting to remembering that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's what music is for. Hey, here, listen to this music so you can remember that you're a God, you're a goddess.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was my journey, and then there was also the element of divine timing, I guess, that was always there. It's not time yet. You have to wait. Not yet. I could feel, This is so beautiful music. Don't keep it there. It's not the time yet to put it there. It's not, In fact, the biggest challenge for me, like many of people that are like me, it wasn't so much the anger or the hatred, because I never felt those kind of emotions. It was most about patience.
Wow, isn't that interesting?
Gotta be patient. It's not, you have to wait, because this is a slow planet. I know you want to do that, but it's not the time yet for doing that. You just have to wait a little bit longer, You have to expand more your heart, and you wait that everybody else can follow you. That was and still it is, because still, to me, everything is so slow,
That's been one of my most difficult lessons too, because, when I first started putting my information out there, I thought, well, there'd be lots of people who would understand it like I do, and it wouldn't, it would grow really quickly. But no, it's a long process. And I thought things were going to move a lot quicker too with the planet itself. I thought things were going to move along much quicker. So many of us did, because we started to experience that life outside of this slow linear time, and we're integrating with our greater aspects of self, and those parts of us live in this non-linear time, and all of a sudden we're confused about time. You know, and that's why we had the 2012 thing, and everybody thought that, you know, there was going to be major changes on the planet, but in the public domain. But they have been big changes, but they've all been in the background template domain, and slowly now it's filtering into the physical arena, which is, but this thing about being patient and understanding that it's a bit of a slower process than what we initially thought, that's been a great lesson for me too.
Yeah. And now, in a way, it seems like the need of being patient is faded out. I am very happy because I don't sometimes, rarely, but I don't need to be patient anymore for some reason. It's gone. That idea is gone. It's just the understanding of the experience have reached a maturity to a point where I don't need patience anymore.
Wow, so you're more in the flow, are you?
Yes, and also I don't have anymore I don't have the contraction of neediness of recognition, of neediness of approval, of neediness of anything. The only thing that is left within myself is the desire to be free.
Yes.
That is still very strong.
Yes.
So I can't, I'm very. It's all about freedom and being individual and being
sovereign.
Exactly. That actually is growing even more. Before it was very strong, but now it's like, no, I don't follow anything.
Exactly. You're sovereign from within your own.
Yeah.
From within your own heart and your own soul. Yeah. So the question I'd really love to ask is, are there any unusual experiences, or shall I say metaphysical experiences that you've had that you would like to share publicly with people? Because I feel that everybody who is working in this field, in this genre, anybody who even writes, who's a writer or a contributor in the world, will had to have had a point of reference of having metaphysical experiences in order to be able to share this level of information or knowledge and wisdom and creativity with the world.
Yes. I'm not one of those people that sees the Archangel Gabriel or Saint Germain, not because I'm against them. It's just it seems like my operative system doesn't work like that. I guess all the experience, every song that you can hear, that is a metaphysical experience for me.
Yeah.
And for me is all about heart. Many people use the word channeling. I don't feel like I'm channeling. I'm not hosting some entities that gives me the music.
Yeah.
It's just, the metaphysical experience that I can tell you about is a heart that open and feel love and joy for everything that exists, and feel life, the presence of life in everything that exists, every vibration, everything feel is full of soul. And so I have an interaction with my chair. I can hug my chair and love my chair because I feel it's alive for some reason, that is the metaphysical experience I have, and that one is always there constantly since I can recall. It's always been there. So I cannot tell you stories about, but I see there was one of the biggest challenge at the beginning, because I would see I would not more than see, more feeling. I would feel the entire beauty of an individual, and particularly if it was a woman, for example, I would fall in love immediately.
Yeah.
Because I would see this incredible goddess,
Yeah.
and I would be in love immediately. But then I would be confused because I would see the earth, I would deal with the earth expression,
Yes.
which wasn't copying what I was feeling.
Yes.
So it took me a while to understand. So, okay, we got two situations here. We got
Yeah.
her and we got her,
Yeah. Got the big her and the little her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it's beautiful. It's all beautiful. And there was another thing that take me to the music, because with the music, I always hope to trigger that opening that would manifest the full light expression of our soul,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. And I would like to just read out now, if I may, one of your quotes. In the dream, I see thousands of us coming from everywhere on earth, gathering around the music, fully embracing the love and the oneness, purging from the pure notes and the loving healing sounds, the many musical instruments. What an amazing statement. Can you elaborate on that statement a little bit more for us?
Yes, that's an attempt to put in words what I feel when I hear the music. That what is I see when that's my heart desire when I create a concert, is to have a gathering of people and create oneness. So that is my dream. That's my vision. That's what I live for. Anything else really is not so much important, and that's the scope. Along with my personal, of course, awakening. That's the scope of my existence, and that's where I have been focused all these years. So it's just an attempt to put that in words.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful song of words is another way of putting it. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, so I suppose in your travels too, in the industry that you work in, and I'm going to take this into the direction of where I'm at and where I'm expressing spiritual concepts in this world. One thing I've noticed is, you would be actually in a very sensitive situation because you have to deal with a lot of people in the music industry, in the media industry, also in these other industries, that there's a lot of traditional belief systems that are in these different industries. So it must be an amazing challenge for you to be able to, I'm actually acknowledging you for your ability to work in the industry that you do, have to deal with all these different ideas and belief systems, and to find that neutral territory so you can actually present your music so it doesn't get tainted by all these established belief systems. So there's another area I want to acknowledge you in, because it's a very great challenge for you.
It is. Well, intuitively, I never, ever attempt to work for the music industry. All these years, I never associated myself to the music industry. I had a couple of, I would say, gigs, a couple of short interactions, and the contraction I felt in my stomach was to the point that I understood that was not what I was supposed to do. I wasn't doing the music industry at all. And I did it very shortly, many years ago, and then I completely let go of the idea of pleasing the music industry, because I realized that the music industry is not about music for the most. I mean, of course, there are beautiful people also that work in the music industry, but the collective idea of music industry is not for music, it's for profit.
Well, isn't it fascinating that you presented in that way just then? Because in the industry or the genre that I work in, the spiritual community is actually not about spirituality. It's about belief systems. It's about doctrine. It's about dogma. And that's why I'm in the same position as you are in my field of work. Isn't that fascinating that we want to remain sovereign, independent, and we want to present our creativity and what we have to share with this world in a way that doesn't get pigeonholed and doesn't get categorized in those standard doctrines and systems that are already in place on this planet.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And many, unfortunately, extremely talented musicians get caught up in that system. And once they get caught up, they lose that connection that originally motivate them to come to go to music.
Yes.
And now they don't know, they are lost. And so many times when I work with musicians, it's challenging because they are so intoxicated with the rightness and wrongness of the music industry or how to do music that, and they are brilliant musicians, many times much more talented than myself, but their mind is too present, is too, it's like they are like in a cage. They lost their freedom. And so I have basically to slowly give them the permission to allow the mistake. It's okay if you make a mistake, because a mistake is never a mistake. A mistake is a door that takes you somewhere else.
It's an opportunity, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So most of the most beautiful melody I created were a mistake. I did some mistake. Here we go.
Oh, wow. You just gave out a beautiful, beautiful secret. Oh, wow. Unfolding secrets. How about that? Oh, right. Wow. I love you, Marco. That's just gorgeous.
So, yes, there were challenges that way, but, again, I don't relate with the music industry. I'm open if tomorrow a record company comes and they express a pure intent.
Yes.
And a very high integrity, I welcome them. That would be wonderful. But I haven't been lucky yet to find, and I haven't even searched. I mean, I'm completely in a different direction. I see music as, again, a vehicle for, not for entertainment.
Yes.
You see, they made entertainment out of music.
You create music for a purpose.
Well, yeah, the artist is not about entertainment.
Mm.
Entertainment is mostly comes from a need for recognition.
Ah, okay. I get where you're coming from now. Yes.
All right. So
yes.
I entertain you, so you love me.
Yes, I get it now.
You know, so you get the applause.
Yeah.
Not all, and I'm not saying that all entertainment like that, but many entertainment.
And to give the analogy in my field of work, the same thing applies, because people are out there, they're on Facebook and they're doing this and they're just pumping out material. Bang, 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 constantly. And they've got their followers and they're just feeding people constantly. See, I put out my podcasts whenever they get done. I don't put one out every week. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It just, when a podcast is ready or when the material presents itself, through me, out of me, then it is there. I cannot sit down and force write material. I cannot do that because somebody wants me to put something else out, because what I came to realize was what all these other people are doing in the so-called spiritual genre is they're actually entertaining people's minds. It's like they need more information and they go into this feeding frenzy of information. They want more. And it's the same with the music. In the music industry, people want the buzz factor. I noticed that they're chasing that buzz factor that gives them the high that actually it's like consuming a drug momentarily. And also the musician on the other side, on the mirror image of that, gets their buzz factor, their high, from feeding off the adulation and adoration from the audience. Isn't that fascinating?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what, that's the transition has to happen. The musician needs to understand that when they hold the instrument, they're healers. They're extremely powerful.
Wow.
It's not about entertaining. I mean, entertaining can be there. It's nothing wrong with it, but it cannot be the scope of what you're doing, the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And that's difficult to address, to fully embrace, because we are so concerned about the outcome. We are constantly concerned about what is in there for me. What about my career? What about the money? What about the results? And so we are constantly manipulating ourselves in order to achieve the result.
Yes.
But we need to let go completely of that. And that's scary, because it means jump into the unknown, completely surrender to the joy of being here and now, and communicate with Source with no agenda. Because Source will not come in if you have an agenda.
Yes.
It's that the sun cannot come in if the doors are closed, the windows are closed. You have to open the windows, and then the sun will love to come in. But if you don't open and so that's the heart that needs to be open. And that's the challenge. Even now, that's one of the biggest challenges, to create a team of people that don't have that business idea anymore. Let's not do business. Let's do resonance.
Yes.
The resonance will take care of the business. You do something, and by resonance, the people will come. By resonance, the money will come, the abundance, whatever needs to come will come. That's none of our business. Our business is just to stay on the resonance.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I feel what you just said in my heart. It really is a beautiful statement you just made.
And it is very difficult, because we've been so conditioned to the idea of business. With business, what it is the astute way to try to get something. I try to get something as much as possible from you and give you as less as possible. Then I'm a good business person.
Yeah, well, see, that's not the philosophy I like to function from.
Right. We have to shift to, I'm going to just be myself and dance. And then the dance will take me where I have to go, and everything will be fine. Because I trust that Source loves me, we are all one, and there is infinite abundance. And so we don't have to be worried about what is going to happen. And how I'm supposed to dance, how to move my body. I just dance.
And you trust the creative process of your soul in this world. You trust your spirit, your soul.
Yeah, and that needs to be applied in all the aspect of our life, whether it's relationships, or whether it's business, or it's creativity, or it's family, or it's logistics. That's for me is when you become a master of the 3D, when you were able, and I still have a lot of work to do in that respect too.
Don't we all? Oh, look, right. Come on. Yes, we are a work in progress, Marco.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, only the wise can say that about themselves too. That's for sure. Yeah. That understanding of the business side of things, and the business working relationships that you are now entering into, you're currently in, and new ones that you will be entering into. I think that philosophy there, what you just shared, should be the foundational philosophy of entrepreneurship from the larger companies in the world as well.
Exactly. That is the new idea of corporations. I don't like the word corporations, but just to be three-dimensional in our conversation.
Well, there's the corporate environment, and the people that function in the corporate environment are business people. They are business men and business women, right? They're into business. But then there's another group out there, which I have come to know. They're called entrepreneurs. They're the ones that are more altruistic in their approach, and they are the ones that have more of an interest in making things happen in the world for the better of the world. So they're the ones that are interested in using their assets and their resources to actually literally improve the planet and improve the situation on the planet. They're known as entrepreneurs. They're a different breed. They're a different group. They have a more heart connection than just the cold, hard, mechanical business people in the cold, hard machine of the corporate world, you see. So that's why it's important. See, a lot of people in the spiritual genre tend to have this, dislike that borders on hatred. They have a resentment towards anyone to do with money and business. It's a very unfortunate, reactive, I would say, mind virus that a lot of people in the spiritual community are suffering from. They don't actually understand that in this world, the way society is structured and the way the society is set up right now at the moment, we can actually use the mechanisms in place, but it is our attitude, it is our approach, it's how we go about using those existing mechanisms. Now, obviously, I want to get to the point where there's no economic collective whatsoever. That's where I feel that we are headed. But right now, today, as you and I sit here and speak, I have an electricity bill I need to take care of and attend to. I'm speaking to you because I'm paying for the internet to provide the communication for you and I to have this conversation. So the reality is, rather than just living in an ideological concept of how I would love things to be, I actually have to be grounded in the reality of the way things are now, in the now moment, you see. So the spiritual community needs to get past this aversion it has to the economic collective we are a part of, and also, because they'll whinge. They'll whinge about charging about anything. You know, someone has to pay for a book, they'll whinge about that. Someone has to pay for something, they'll whinge about that. And it's like, but then they'll turn around and they'll go and pay money to put petrol in their car. They will go and pay money to buy food from the supermarket. So they're participating in the system, but then they turn around and they whinge about everything about the system. So they're being hypocritical. They're not being consistent in their character. Do you see what I'm saying? So the side of where money comes into play and in the work that you and I are doing, and there needs to be a fair exchange, because the money, I came to realize, actually represents the activities on a 3D level. Mm-hmm. It's like a measure of activity on the 3D level, and it depends on the parameters you set on that. So by you saying, let's not do business, let's do resonance, you are changing, you're altering the parameters of money. So now you're getting actually into universal wealth creation. Do you get where I'm coming from now? So you're having a more heart-centered approach, and you're understanding that it is important to have a working relationship with money in this world that is going to actually help us gather more resources to then put it back into what we do to be more effective, to help spread the resonance of our projects into the world. This is what it's really all about.
Yes, it's true. It's also, there is another important factor, is that by making such choice, you have to learn to trust your joy more than your fears.
Wow, that's a great statement.
Because we learn to trust our fears 100%. So, oh my God, this is fearful. I have to give my complete attention to this. It must be true. I have to take care of this. But when it comes joy, I don't have time for it because I have to take care of my fear.
Yep.
And once we make the transition, only then we can really make the resonance. And we find out that joy can provide us abundance as much as our fears. Is anyways an illusion. Abundance is there anyway.
Yes, it is. It's always there.
Right. So if we trust our joys, then we we create abundance through our joy, and that abundance has a quality that is completely different than the quality that of the abundance created through fear, because the abundance that we create through fears is polluted with parasitic energy.
Yes.
While the joy is inspired by the divine source, and so always take us to a better, bigger, more oneness, and
Yes.
we go upper and upper. So that's why the most important questions, the big questions, to me are very simple. What gives me joy, and how can I serve best? You know, how can I, if I make this choice, in what way I am helping Earth, I'm helping people, you know.
So that's one of the secrets of understanding one's fundamental purpose is joy. There has to be joy in there.
Yes.
It must be.
Yeah, joy, imagination, creativity. These are the tools of the higher self is trying to direct us, like tower control that try to direct the landing of the plane, you know?
Yes. That's a wonderful analogy you use. Can you just go into that? Because I've heard you mention that before in another interview, and I thought it was a fantastic analogy that you give of the Tower Control Center. Can you explain that in more detail?
Well, I mean, it seems to me that this experience, this physical experience, it's filled with pain and suffering simply because we are not connected with the part of us that can see the whole picture. And in my personal experience, it seems the only way to connect with that part of ourselves is through following our joy and following our, I think somebody says our bliss, and also following our imagination. All the things that I'm doing are the result of my imagination. My imagination is guiding me, because in my imagination take me outside from the comfort zone, from the ordinary world, and take me to a place where I am daring into something new, and then by doing that I can bring something new. I mean, if somebody wouldn't have imagined, we wouldn't have Skype right now, right?
Exactly.
We wouldn't have a computer. So thank God somebody followed his imagination and created something that now everybody can benefit from.
We start creating a nation of magic.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. That's true. So that's the tough for all of us, because we have we are constantly bombarded by fear everywhere we go. The media, the educational, the family, the morality, the society. I mean, everywhere you go is all about fear. Be careful. Be careful. You know. So that is the way to get out of this mess, is just to follow. Now, somebody would say, well, it's easy to say that, but how am I supposed to know what is joy? You know, many people don't know what joy is, or they think they know, but what they call joy is dysfunctional anxiety.
And it's a buzz factor. Really, it really is the consuming of either energies outside or substance from outside of us. And that to them is what they see as joy. It's really a shallow happiness, and it's very momentary, and it's a very artificial peak sensation of bliss. Whereas joy is something that's very deep and graceful and is long sustained and comes from within. Yes,
exactly. And that's the discernment that we need to master. I guess we need to learn, because discern when is our heart that is speaking to us, or when is our mind. And because the mind is a fear-based entity, it's all about contraction, and the heart is all about expansion and love. So when we talk about joy, we just need to go again to that female energy, that heart. That the female energy is what will take us. I don't think we can go back home with the male energy. I don't think it's possible.
No, we can't. It's not possible.
Right. The only way is to fully embrace the female energy.
I agree. I agree.
And that's what we need. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's not a matter of sex here. It's a matter of your heart, your vulnerability, your compassion, your joy, your love. Those are the muscle that needs to be trained constantly, every day. And that's our work. And,
well, the framework of that was expressed in our societies for a very long time, where the man would go out and work and the woman would stay at home and looking after matters at home. And so when we want to go home now within ourselves, we need to embrace the feminine. You see,
yeah.
so that structure, that setup of when one emanates from the soul, one employs a more masculine, divine masculine driven desire and expression to go and to be adventurous in life. And the feminine is the one that holds the space for that to be facilitated. And so that's why the home is more the feminine energy, and the outwardly expressions are more of a masculine based energy. Yes. Yeah. So in order for us to go home within ourselves, we do need to re-embrace the feminine within. Absolutely. Yes. We need to rekindle our relationship with the grace that we have within ourselves, with the love that we have within ourselves, with the aspects of us that are home, and the traditional feeling of warmth, nurturing, healing, comfort, and home.
And that is the major ingredient of music.
Mm.
In fact, when music is male, it's violent.
Mm.
It's dissonant.
It's those poorer qualities of the masculine, because we also need to understand that in the divine masculine energy, the whole spectrum exists. So there is aspects of the masculine that is also very nurturing, very graceful.
Absolutely.
So we need that balance, don't we, Marco, in all of that?
Of course. No, absolutely. I'm saying when the music is expressed just from the male only source, then it become I think you could see what did I saw? I saw the picture of Emoto on the water reaction of the.
Oh yeah, Dr. Emoto. Yeah, his work's brilliant.
Water is another fantastic, wonderful element.
They go hand in hand, I feel.
Yes. In fact, we are attempting to connect with some water source to be part of the event, so that we can offer this a high resonating water to the crowd when they come in and listen to the concert. That's one of the many ideas that we have, and I think we found already some water that is has the purity and the vibrancy that will support the heart-opening process of the concert.
Fantastic.
So it's interesting. Yes.
Yeah, maybe you could have the water present, so when people are toning, which we haven't discussed. Oh, please talk about that part. Yeah, we didn't talk about that, so please bring that in.
What? The toning?
Yeah, at the concert.
Yes. Well, that would be the beginning of Sounds of One concert. We will do toning. What is toning? It's basically an invitation to everybody, musicians and audience. And by the way, we will have a structure that will not create separation between audience and musicians. We don't want that separation to occur. We want to be all together. So we will find ways to blend everybody.
Mm.
But the toning, it will be an invitation to so that everybody will sync their energy together before, and then we will start the event. So there will be toning at certain frequencies, and everybody will be able, say, if I want to participate with their voice. And also there will be also an element of movement, because some people also Some people are more, they sink in with their body more. It's more doing movement with their body. It's their way to participate. And so we will have also dancers that will create a choreography that whoever wants to follow will be able to follow.
Yes.
So it will be very simple, but very, very, again, simplicity.
Yes.
Which is difficult. It has to be there. And there are fantastic people that are awakening through the idea of dancing. There are people that are awakening through the idea of sound. So people are awakening through the idea of singing. So we will gather these people that are the masters in this craft, and they will offer their craft to the crowd. And so whoever will resonate with the dance will dance. Whoever will resonate with the singing will sing, and everything will happen simultaneously. We will also have aromatherapy, because every song has its own smell.
Wow.
Every song has its own color. We will have an expert in color therapy.
Wow.
Because the color are extremely important, you know.
What an amazing production. The level of production is amazing.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. So, yes. So it is a big production. That's why we are right now extending a call to potential angels investors, like you said the word philanthropists, right?
And entrepreneurs.
I'm sorry, entrepreneurs. Yeah,
yes.
Entrepreneurs. So people that have the gift of money, because money is beautiful too. There's nothing wrong with money. It's energy. It's another way to create abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And want to join us for the intent to support humanity through this channel of music. So we are asking Source to guide us towards these people that has the power of money, that can give us the logistic and the spaciousness so that this can materialize rapidly, because the time is now. We are things are happening very fast now. The reality as we know it is rapidly crumbling. All those, that's why I call them unfolding secrets, because all the secrets has to come out and become transparent. So everything that is a secret has to come to light, and we all have to see all these secrets, and so become aware of the, I would call, deception that we've been living, layers after layers of deceptions. And so what happened, a lot of people that are completely identified, and this is the majority at this point, identified with this fictitious reality, will be lost, will be panicking, because I can see my father is going to go crazy, say, oh my God, so what I thought it was true is not true. So what is it true? I'm confused. And mostly they want to check out. You know, either they materialize a cancer and they just get out of here, or they, a lot of suicidal people. So that's why the work that we are doing is so important, because we are going to help these people that are completely lost to find a new identity, more organic identity.
Yes.
Because eventually they will have to realize that there is nothing there. It's all empty space, and everything comes from within ourselves.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
It's like we've been watching this movie in a dark theater for 10,000 years, and we forgot who we are. And now the movie, somebody turn on the light, and we realize that it was just a movie.
Yeah.
So who am I? And then somebody say, okay, now you have to get out of the theater, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Get out of the theater, and you open, and outside the theater there's nothing. There's empty space.
Yes.
That empty space is the creative force that is neutral, and it's all entirely up to you what to do with.
Wow, what a wonderful way of expressing it, Marco. This is brilliant.
Yeah, and that is going to be extremely scary. It's scary also for me to think about it sometime.
Well, we've already gone through that. We already understand the process. But
Yes.
for the others, it's going to be really quite frightening because they're still very much entrenched.
Exactly.
You know, it's interesting when you look at how people like you and I, we have gone through this process. We're still in the process, but we have gone through the majority of it. The bulk of our fear and the bulk of our pains, we have already worked through. But the majority of the world's population is still to do that. They haven't done that yet. And so there's going to be events on the world that will help them go through it all together at the same time collectively.
Yes. That's why I call eventually, once Sounds of Oneness is there, which, by the way, will be taking action simultaneously in different locations. It won't be just one place. We will simultaneously concert it everywhere, because we have wonderful musicians everywhere on Earth. It doesn't have to be just a group of musicians. It can be many.
Yes.
But once that is taking place, and I am in a situation that is allow more freedom, I will, the final crystallization will be the creation of what I call Earth Angels centers. Because I consider all of us, and whoever choose can become one of us, I consider all of us Earth Angels. That's why I created the song Earth Angels. And these Earth Angel centers basically will be centers everywhere in the world where we will engage local musicians to execute the program of Sounds of Oneness in small mini concerts everywhere where the music could be needed. For example, it could be a hospital, it could be a retirement house, it can be a school, it could be a prison. So we will feed in different locations everywhere in the city, in the world, keeping feeding with this high resonating music everywhere we go, so we can expand even more what Sounds of Oneness has initiated.
Wow.
So that's going to be the third down vision. Vision.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, because even when I speak to some entrepreneurs in today, they also want to create something similar to that, is to help younger people understand how to function in the world if they want to pursue a high level career, then to do it with a more philanthropist approach, a more altruistic approach, and to understand what it means to be an entrepreneur and not just a cold hard businessman.
Yes, I think the people are starting to awaken to that vibration. We are still very few. I've been lucky so far in my team to find, I would say probably a couple of people in my team that have that level of purity where they say, I don't care about anything else. I just want to do good.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And many others say that, and they believe it when they say it, but it's still a mind concept. It's not cellular yet.
Yes, a lot of people have the idea of it, but, you need people like entrepreneurs who know how to put things into action.
Right.
And they do. These people know how to put things into action and make them happen. Otherwise, they would not be entrepreneurs. They would not be in the position they're in without the ability to project manage situations, to know what needs doing, and to actually being proactive and knowing how to make things happen rather than just storing them as an idea. This has got to be a proactive process,
Absolutely.
by the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, and anybody who wants to be involved in what I do or what you do. We have to be proactive now and stop walking around with just an idea. It needs to, like you said, crystallize. It needs to manifest into our 3D reality.
Until there is no action, it doesn't really mean so much.
Yeah.
It's just there are so many people that are walking and say, "Oh, I'm going to write the book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to," but then you see that they always unconsciously sabotage any possibility that that thought comes to crystallization.
Yes.
So until you are navigating those frequencies, there's still nothing really mean what your words are still empty. They're, it's an important process, but until the action doesn't really take place, it's just a word, just spoken words.
Yes, exactly. I agree. They're just spoken words. They're just ideas. They're concepts. No, they need to be manifested. We need to start engaging and living them, embodying those ideas, being those ideas, expressing those ideas, rather than just storing them as an intellectual concept.
Yes, yes. And more and more people every day are doing that. So it's
Look, there really is a revolution happening on the planet, and you're a part of that revolution. I mean, really. And you think all the people involved in your production, it is quite a, you know, I don't think there'll be a lot of people who are listening to this interview, Marco, who really aren't really that aware of the extent and the level of your work. The quality and the magnitude of the production that you are presenting here is really substantial. There's a lot of people involved, isn't there?
Yes. And more are coming right now. The synchronicity is really speeding up. So the resonance is really strong right now. So a lot of people are starting to knock at the door and say, "Hey, let me see better what you are doing, because I resonate with you. What can I do?" You know, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a wonderful project, which really is, you know, you can see how the music industry is trying to turn things around. They're having a go, but I still think there's a big gap between the established music industry trying to make good compared to the level of resonance compared to the level of resonance that you're functioning on. Not to say that you're better, it's just that they still are caught up in those old entrenched systems that they're functioning in, and the behavioral patterns that come, you know, in order to, like if you want to know how to play the game of football, you have to be a good footballer. So if you want to perform well in those entrenched systems of business and of the entrenched music industry, you have to be very good at the way they need people to behave in order to be successful in that way. And we're not interested in being successful in that way. You're not interested in being successful in that way. So you have a different modus operandi. You function differently, you think differently, and you need to do that because you are not in that system. You are operating outside of that system. And there are many people in the world who are beginning to take notice of that. Yes, it is possible to do these things, to manifest our creations, to create these wonderful concerts of music and heart-opening music, helping the human race reconnect with the soul, to harmonize the dissonance on this planet. And we can do it independent of the music industry the way it is today.
Yeah, it's probably the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Because there is so much darkness there.
Yes.
So much darkness there.
There is, yeah. Well, there's so much light here. There's so much love and there's so much light in your smile, because I'm looking at you right now. And I know this is a radio interview, but Marco and I are looking at each other, and you just see the beauty and the radiance of his smile. I mean, my goodness, what a beautiful being. And thank you, Marco. I feel that the energy is winding up here. So please, one more time, can you share that information on your websites? Because I know people will be quite interested in exploring your work further.
Absolutely. So my latest production is called Unfolding Secrets, and all the information can be found at unfoldingsecrets.com. The first generation of concerts starting in Sedona is May 3rd. Information about that can be found at symphonyoftheheart.com. And my personal website is my full name, Marco Missinato. .com. So Marco is Marco and Missinato is Missine like Nancy, A, T like Tom, O, marcomissinato.com. And that's where more or less you will find all the informations and the music. And most of my music is available for free. You can listen to online for free. You can, of course, download it. In that case, you will have to buy it on my discography library. But you can just simply listen to it on your computer.
Yeah, well, I encourage people to do both, actually. I think it's a wonderful thing because then we get a fair exchange happening and it helps you to do your work more effectively in this world. So I think it's a wonderful thing that you provide that opportunity. So, yeah, for people, if you want to support Marco and what he does, just make a little donation for a track or an album. It's a beautiful thing. It's got to get past our hardline ideologies of anything to do with money is evil. That's just got to get past that belief system. That's what's stopping from people like myself and Marco and anybody else and you who's listening from creating a wealth of abundance in your life so you can be more effective in this world. We've got to get past that old imprisoning and restricting belief systems. So, Marco, I want to read out one more statement as a closer to this wonderful discussion. I think it is so incredibly powerful, truly. And this is your words again. Is it? Yes, it is your words. And it is, music is the door, the bridge between us and our soul. It is like a ray of light which illuminates the darkness of our fears and disintegrates all inhibitions. When we completely lose ourselves in an honest musical experience, we are our true selves, open, vulnerable, and real. Wow, I'm going to see all over just reading that out. That is sensational. Truly the words of wisdom. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you, George. I really appreciate my time with you. It was wonderful to connect heart to heart with you and your beautiful audience. And as I expected, now I'm even more clear about what is it I'm here to do and what I need to do. So my gratitude is even bigger. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Same. Thank you very much. It's been a most wonderful and pleasurable exchange. And I know for you who's listening to this incredible discussion, you will have gained a lot out of the wisdom from Marco and also draw inspiration because Marco truly is embodying his soul and living by example in this world of what we can all do to make this world a much better place. So thank you again, Marco, and I want to wish you all the best for your upcoming concert series. And if you are listening and you live in the US and you can get to Sedona, head on over there, May the 3rd. What a fantastic experience that will be. I mean, all you need to do is click on some of these videos and have a nice musical experience. In other words, put a good set of headphones on, listen through some reasonable speakers. Don't listen to something really tinny and light, which will just, not do this symphonic creation the justice and the voice of Kristen. Really, just try and listen through a better stereo system that you've got, and really have a true musical experience, because this is what it's about. And the expansiveness and the warmth and the nurturing and the healing, it's there for you to experience. So thank you once again, Marco, and I want to wish you all the best, my beloved brother here on earth. Thank you for coming to this world and doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. This has been another sensational episode of Super Woo Radio. We will see you next time for another heartwarming, mind-expanding, and soul-inspiring episode. See you next time.
He